do this to myself. I'm okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Blaine Ashley. I'm the founder of the FIZZ Female and New York Champagne Week. Tonight we are celebrating the FIZZ Female Napa Solo-preneur edition with two of my favorite left coast boss babes. I know that word is not supposed to be used anymore, but I still like it, so I'm gonna use it. Ashley Lauren Toronto of Rock Paper Scissors Wine Imports, and Nicole Velez, who is originally from the East Coast, Napa transplant with Rim Envy. And what these two ladies have in common is not only are they solopreneurs, but they're also friends of mine. And they also started businesses right at the cusp of COVID. So Ashley kind of started working on her business like a while before COVID, but then really launched kind of right before COVID. And then Nicole came up with her concept. I kid you not, I know the exact date, January 29th, 2021, because she texted me, can I pick your brain? And I was like, uh-oh. And we got on a call and she told me about this concept. And I thought it was so cool. And I think it's so impressive how quickly she has rolled out Rim Envy during a pandemic. But I guess that she's using her free time or extra time wisely. So let's get into it. We are going to start with Ashley and chat about Ashley's concept behind Rock, Paper, Scissors Wine Imports, what they do, the wines that they feature. Give us your spiel.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley and I started my company in October of 2019. If you can imagine, it's a lot of bureaucratic paperwork to go through, filing with the federal and the state levels, and my licenses to import and sell alcohol issued in February of 2020. So just right before COVID hit and shut everything down. So last year, my first year of business was incredibly difficult, but it also forced me to kind of pivot. So initially I thought I'd be importing wine, bringing it to cool wine bars, doing live in-person events, getting to see people and hang out with people and travel, and that certainly did not happen. So it was a great pivot to move into the world of Zoom. So we did a lot of Zoom tastings with our producers and different events, cooking classes. So it was an interesting year last year. So my business is focused solely on natural wine, and I import from Italy, so all over Italy. And I wanted to focus on natural wine just because living in California, we care so much about where our food comes from, but there's not a lot of truth in labeling when it comes to alcohol. And so the more that I started diving into this world, the more I started to realize that there's a lot of junk in wine. And so it really pushed me to start seeking out natural wine and natural producers. My husband is Italian and he's Sicilian. So he's been a blessing to assist me in my business in translating emails and talking to producers. I rely on him for that. He's a great translator. But yeah, so it's been great trying to find new producers. They're small family winemakers, and they're actually like probably I would call them farmers first and winemakers second. They produce a small amount of wine each year, maybe 5,000 to 6,000 bottles, and it's going to depend year to year what happens, with climate change in the vineyards, their production levels. But I'm happy to represent these producers in California. We just got distribution in the state of Florida. But the blessing about living in California is I can ship most states directly to you guys. So that's kind of the nice thing too. You have like your personalized wine store just waiting here and gonna help you buy wine if you need.
Right. So for anyone on here that doesn't know about the golden opportunity to set up in California as an importer is you can also have an e-commerce platform. And do you want to dive into that a little bit more and explain to anyone on here that might not know that? Because it's I think it's only in a few states, right? Like here in Jersey, and I don't know, is it even in New Jersey?
No, California is the only state where you can. So they call it the three-tiered system. So you're either an importer, a distributor, or a retailer. So there's three systems, and the system really kind of came into place after prohibition ended, and so it was just another level of like government regulation surrounding alcohol. And it's funny living in California for all the bureaucracy that exists here. It's like the one thing that makes like life easy out here, that we can hit the token at all three steps of the three-tiered system. So I can import wine, I can distribute it within the state of California, and I can retail sell it to individuals within California and in 38 states, I think, outside of California. So if not for being in California, my business certainly would not have survived over the last year. I needed that direct channel to folks like you, direct to consumer, in order to keep me afloat, because restaurants and wine bars were just not open. So.
And I want to point out, beyond like you living, like having living on the web and having a retail channel there to connect to people, you really were progressive in taking action on like the different things you could do to connect to your very new consumer and beyond, with things like you did a program where it was like, I don't know, once a month you had a different region or a sub-region of Italy that you focused on, and you did Alto Adige and Sicily and Piemonte. So it's like with the producers would come on at like midnight their time, and it was really cool. And then she did the wine packs to go in tandem with the tasting. So definitely took advantage of the virtual culture for being a new business. And then also you've done some merchandise, and then now you just launched a subscription club. Is that right?
Yeah. So everyone kept asking for a wine club, and it felt a little intimidating. Like I was already trying to pivot in so many different directions. But it actually is kind of going pretty well. It's nice because we're so small. We just have like one offering. It's 6 bottles every other month. And it includes shipping and, delivery direct to people's doorsteps. And then we also include not just like info on the wine, but because my husband is Italian, and all of our wines are Italian, we've taken his grandmother's old recipes, we've translated them out of Italian into English, and we pair like 2 recipes with 2 of the wines in the shipment, so people can actually cook and cook like a traditional Italian dish, not like Olive Garden Italian, but like a traditional like Nona approved Italian dish to pair with the wines that we've chosen for the club that month. So I think it's really neat that it's like a little addition. What I love is like actually getting pictures back from people of like the recipes that I made, and it makes me really happy. And it's like my husband's grandmother passed away during COVID, and so he wasn't able to be there for the memorial service, and so this is like a nice way that we get to like honor her now and moving forward. So
well, you should do a contest with the recipes and repost them on Instagram and get people like take a picture of your recipe and your whatever, and like you can even call the contest Nona approved to give her even more love, right? And then you post those every week on Wednesday or Friday. Like every week you post recipes, right?
Eating that week, yeah,
like what you're eating. What day is it?
It's usually Friday. It's usually Friday.
Okay. That's great. It's like date night in. Like, I don't know. Like I never went on Friday. Anyway, so what else? So we have 3 wine packs we featured for this event, and there was a 1 bottle pack with a garnish, a 2 bottle pack with 2 garnishes, and a 3 bottle pack of just wine. but we're going to definitely focus on the 2 bottle pack today. So we have 2 pet nats and 2 garnishes. But let's chat with Nicole first before we dig into that. And then again, if you're in New York, you can come to our pop-up on Sunday from 2 to 5 in Cobble Hill. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna be pouring pet nats, summer whites, rosés. So we'll have a good representation of what Ashley offers and just her curated summer selections, basically. So let's chat with Nicole, who launched her rim company. And it's so funny because I like when I do the post, I'm like, oh, I need to clarify that it's not like rims on a car. Like I'm not like tricking out my car here. It's not, it's cocktail rims, like the cocktails. So explain to us Rim MV. And I mean, come on, I'm like dying over this branding. Also, I have to give my person love. My designer did her branding, Abby Moffat, who does everything female and everything Champagne Week. And any collateral I put out there, Abby does. And I connected the two, and I absolutely love what she did. And these smell so good. Okay, tell us about it. Okay.
I might like you just keep talking. It's perfect.
I'm like this. I'm like literally, don't judge me. If I lick my rim, please don't judge me. Doing it. Okay.
Gosh, where to start? So I moved, let me back up. So as Blaine mentioned, I'm actually from New York. I moved out to California about 2 years ago, literally 6 months before COVID broke out. But in that time of just being here when life was normal, there's not really a cocktail scene here in the Valley. Like everyone, it's wine driven. And, I would have friends, we would have gatherings and things. And I was always like the resident mixologist, right? Like I love playing with cocktails. It started very young. My first gig, as many people who are probably in the food and beverage industry, I was a bartender, paying my bills for college. And I always loved exploring with cocktails, even like 20 years ago when like cocktails they were still like not that cool, your basic, your margarita, thinking about like the evolution of a cocktail and garnish. Everyone's had like their first cocktail rim of being just plain old ordinary salt. And even then, like I figured out ways to just make them more interesting, not really thinking was ever anything else other than like, I want to drink something better, with my cocktails. So, when you fast forward a bit, like I got into the wine industry and I definitely have a passion for wine, but it's always been this little secret desire to make cocktails. And my thing with cocktails too is, it's not just about the liquid in the actual glass, it's the whole experience from the garnishes, including the rim, And when I got out here, everyone just kind of leaned in on me to be like that mixologist for them, right? Like everyone knows about wine out here. I can't really teach anyone about wine, I'm in wine country, but let me tell you, I could shake up a premium cocktail and start infusing flavors. And all my cocktails, like I said, like I love an experience. And the moment your lips touch a glass, like I think that's where the journey starts. And, even at my friends, I'd go to my friends' herb gardens. I start cutting up stuff. Like they'd have no idea what I'm doing in their kitchens. And it really evolved from something like that was that social and just being with friends around a table and like bringing things that I really love and just did for fun. And as even COVID started, I had my little COVID bubble. We still got together and drank cocktails, of course, but then I start buying things like dehydrated.
Pause. Wait. When Monique has on my save water, drink champagne.
I'm like, what did I do?
Boutique. Love you, Monique. Okay, wait. I had to call her out for that. And then also, I just have to interject and say, like, I am literally not kidding. I'm licking these rims and I'm like chewing them. They're so good. And I'm not hyping her up. Like, if you know me, I'm not going to tell people something that isn't true. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These are like so good. I'm trying them for the first time today, so I'm like blown away. And Michelle, if you want to come over for a glass of wine, you better hurry up because I'm pounding this pet ad with the garnish. So okay, I'm done. Go on.
No, so like I said,
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like so excited. It's really fun. It's fun to see your friends put out good shit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, you know what? I take that very seriously because I was really worried about doing this because I knew if I didn't like land it,
I was going to hear about it. Like Blaine wasn't going to let me walk away from this. She would have called me up and I'm like, I'm not doing it. You're not coming on today. Like, I know literally that's how cutthroat Blaine could be. So I was like, oh, I need to like score on this. So her complimenting goes like a long, long way because we have a long relationship and she will tell me and give me that hard truth. So thank you. I'll take your stamp of approval. But like, so like it was something I did out of fun. And I have a lot of friends who are in the industry, and just through networking out here and just friends of friends, I had a mutual friend from all these different connections and social connections. She was doing a mailer for one of her wine concepts. And she basically was like, I want to do these mailers for PR. I love your rims, you know, even for her birthday, she makes me batch them up and she'll buy cocktails from me with the rims. And she's like, I want this for this to like promote this wine label that I'm working on. And it kind of like got me thinking like, oh, can I make money doing this? Like, is this something that's really like viable? And do people want to add rims to things? And then I would start seeing like some of my friends post, you know, especially with the to-go cocktail situation, like, oh, here's my cocktail. And like, they would just throw some arbitrary, like just a plain salt rim on things. I'm like, oh wait, I can do better than that. Like, I know I'm better than that, you know? And it just became this thing where lots of support from friends were like, you need to turn this into a business. And as Blaine pointed out, January 29th, I was like, you know, I need to really do something, you know, with this. I think there could be something here, but what do you think? And she jumped on it, and it's really still in its infancy stage. I still have like quite a bit to go to really get like a full up shop and things like that. Right now, it's really been partnering with like Ashley and partnering with other friends who are in the industry who are like, oh, hey, I have a hard, my next one's a hard seltzer that someone's like, hey, I think this could be cool here, you know, and just really making this kind of like word of mouth. And, you know, what's great about being in the Valley and great about my initials, the Rim Envy kind of became like this double entendre, like Napa Valley, you know, it could be Rim Napa Valley if you really wanted it to be, but those are my initials, NV. So there's a lot of like fun to play there too. And like I said, I think ultimately it's just for me, when I have something, like when I'm drinking something, like I love the whole experience. And even being able to partner with someone in the wine industry or doing with Bubbles or a pet nat even, or even, you know, agave based spirit, like these, all these different things are coming to me. It's really interesting to see, like, it doesn't just have to be for cocktails either. Like you could really enhance flavor within a glass just from as soon as your lips touch the glass. So
can people purchase these on your website yet or not?
Not yet. That's what Blaine's going to kick me in my hiney. So that is my next step in the next coming weeks. I do have everything set up to do so, but I haven't set up.
How many weeks? Like 2? I'm kidding.
I will have it up. So.
But we have a couple of packs still available, or a handful of packs on the site and at the event on Sunday, so that's good. What else do I have? Oh, I have one other thing I wanted to point out, because I talk about side hustles a lot on FIZZ Female, and this is both of their kind of high side hustle, even though I think for Ashley it's more like her full-time job now, but Ashley has got like 3 jobs and Nicole has a full-time job in wine. Is that safe to say? So that just goes to show that like a pandemic and a job or 3 shouldn't stop you if you have an idea. And if you know me, you know, if you give me an idea, I'm gonna come up with a million ideas to make it happen. So there you go. That's some motivation for you if you have a little side hustle idea. But should we ask if anyone has questions, or do you want us to dive into the wines?
Let's do some questions. Yeah.
Anyone?
It could be anything.
No questions? Okay. You can even ask if like, I don't know. Okay, well, no questions. So I'm kind of surprised, but it's okay. So let's go into the wines then. So we have, what's pairing number 1, the one I have?
We'll do this guy, the FIZZ.
Okay, cool. Which I don't have open, but I'm excited to have it soon. Oh, wait.
Ooh,
of rim. I don't know what you're asking, Jennifer.
Like what's next on deck?
What's next on deck, or like what flavor? So next on deck, well, I have 5 base flavors. It starts, so I have a salty, a sweet, smoky, umami, and spicy. How did I forget spicy? Hi, my favorite, spicy. So those are like my 5. And when I get like, so with Ashley, I did some custom. So when I say salty, usually that it's a higher percentage of salt. Even my sweet has a little bit of salt still in it because salt makes everything better. You know, like salt definitely enhances flavors. It's such a master of a culinary ingredient. So I feel like salt should be kind of everywhere, even if it's like, it's just the ratio of salt is different in each one of those. But something that you will, if you have the packs or not, this is the blood orange. This would be considered a salt, but then there is a ginger rim that I did custom for one of the pet nets that we're tasting today. So I do play in other places too, depending that this ginger would actually fall into spicy because there's like that pop of heat because ginger has that natural spice to it. But yeah, so really those are my 5 bases, but in my collaborations with folks, I kind of take what they give me and then, oh, look at Blaine. Hi, she's enjoying these rims. I love it.
Hi.
I can't even.
I'm trying the ginger, the orange one because I didn't try it.
But I will say on next, I am playing with dried caviar. So we'll see how that shapes out.
That might work.
I do know a couple of places here now, but that might work. So definitely playing, and maybe with our friend Blaine over here later down the line. So that's officially next. That's not on my 5 like core signature flavors, if you will.
Well, I want her to get like a little like Airstream and do a little like bubbly cocktail thing out of it and just park it in places.
That's my goal. That's definitely on my vision board is my Airstream.
So okay, so let's talk about the pairing. So we're gonna do the Viv with the one I just tried on my finger. It was delicious. And I can't wait to try it together, but let's get into it. So it's been a while since I had this, so I can say absolutely pretty much nothing about it. So tell us about the wine, Ashley.
More than happy to. So this producer is called Radici and Filari, and that translates to roots and rose in Italian. They're based in Piemonte in the acclaimed area of La Mora, which is typically known for a lot of Barolos. And so the grapes in this wine are Nebbiolo and Roero, and it's a 80-20 blend in this bottle. They do this in the like the ancestral method. So it's it re-ferments in the bottle based on temperature. So in the spring, when the temperatures warm up again, the secondary fermentation kicks off in the bottle, and they keep it with a crown cap. So it's a little bit different than the champagne method, and you'll notice like in the bottle, there's a little bit of like sediment left in it because they don't disgorge it. What I love about this wine is it's super light. And what I love about working with Nicole in these rims, and when we were talking about blood orange is one of those flavors that I feel like is pervasive in a lot of Italian food. And but when she made this blood orange rim, the smokiness of the rim, and like you're gonna have to tell us why it's so smoky. I don't know, it's amazing. We were just harassing her before the event started that she needs to make candles like potpourri.
There you go.
Like, look at this. Like, you do actually kind of want to eat it. Like, I was compelled to like.
I want to re-rim my glass right now, but I can't because there's still wine in it. So I just don't know. I'm conflicted right now. I'm just like it's a treat.
So like with this particular rim, because of the wines, and when we had spoke, I wanted to do a little play of like the Aperol spritz, like that bitter sweetness, you know, and play with ingredients that would lend into that, because I felt like that was like the most natural way to go without also evading the wine itself, right? Like, so you always want to enhance it and not overpower it. And I can't look at Blaine right now on the screen, I'm sorry. But so with this, and also just to note, like everything I do, I either dry it out myself. So I bought a dehydrator during COVID. It was like my big purchase. So I will dehydrate, grind. I've all these little fancy equipment. Some of them I don't even know how to use still. I have to still Google how to use this to get this, but you know, and also even for things like, so there was also like a cherry salt in here to give like a little bit of that. I want the tartness of the cherry, but like I will use cherry juice for my juicer. I like mix it up with the salt and like dehydrate back down. So that way also, because I don't use preservatives yet and I'm not in a place where I could pack these up. So everything you get is pretty much the fresh and it'll last because it's dehydrated. But again, there's no preservatives. So it's not something like if you get like a spice at like, I don't know, your local grocery store and have it up there for a year and you're like, oh, cool, this spice is still good. It's not that kind of like longevity in it, but at least, you know, you're getting something that was like really handcrafted. And, but yeah, so this, I wanted to make sure, like I said, enhance this. I love the whole play on the Aperol kind of flavors that bitter, sweet. There is like a punch of smokiness in it that comes just from, I think, the natural release from dehydrating the peel. Anyhow, yeah.
I'm just so impressed that the packaging is so on point in this short of time. Because branding is everything. I don't like, it's not everything, but it's like a very large part of it. I'm a brand whore. So this is like so impressive. I'm just blown away by it. I don't know. I just think I did not expect, I didn't know what I was going to get. I know the website is amazing because Abby did it. I thought it might just be me getting like little baggies, like how people put like pot in baggies. Like I thought I was gonna get like baggies of like rims or something. And I didn't know what I was gonna get. So I just was like so excited when I saw it.
Like the money. Yeah. I mean, you never know. I am a little bit of a city girl.
There's like curious bills with like Pacololo. We call it Pacololo in Hawaii where I'm from. So all right, let's move on to wine number 2 because not everybody has the wine. So the numero dos.
Yep. So Thomas Niedermeyer, the Freistel, comes from Alto Adige, and so he works with some unique varieties that are called peewees. And they are crossings between European varieties and American varieties. And he specifically crosses them because they are resistant to powdery mildew, which is great because it inhibits the need to spray copper or sulfur in the vineyard. So already they're creating a healthier vineyard environment for the grapes that they work with. This wine is a blend of 3 different peewee varietals. It's Bronner, Solaris, and Sauvignon Gris. And this is the first year this producer made a pet nat, which I think is super cool. And his assistant winemaker, Christina, is a big driving factor behind that because when she joined the team, she's gonna come in and shake things up a little bit. So this was her brainchild and done in the same method and the ancestral method that the Viv was made in as well.
She's so cool too. She's on that video. Did you repost those publicly or no?
I just sent out like the codes and stuff.
Okay. Got it.
But yeah, what I love about this wine is that it's super light and it has like nice notes of like white flower and lime. And so when I was talking to Nicole about a possible rim to go with this wine, like the natural inclination was to just really enhance that kind of citrusy flavor in the wine. And so when she came out with this ginger lime rim, I was like, this is it. So that's the one that Blaine's really enjoying right now.
Really enjoying. But I'm also having a pesto salmon with like green beans for dinner. And I feel like it's gonna just be like the perfect match for this wine. So I'm really happy I'm putting and the rim. Maybe I'll put the rim on the salmon.
Yeah.
I mean, you totally could. I mean,
what?
You technically could.
Yeah.
You could probably put these rims on like dark chocolate.
Yeah.
I have rim on my. I think it could really work with like a really dark chocolate, like 70% dark or something.
Yeah, totally.
We're creating new products as we speak.
I'm not happy we came on our rim line yet, but hey, chocolate, let's go.
Bath salts, chocolates.
I'll stick with chocolate. You can do the bath salts. I'll just send you some flavor profiles.
All right, so those are the wines. Again, we're gonna have them on Sunday at our pop-up in Brooklyn, but we're also gonna have some bites if anyone is coming by. So explain your genius find with Panzerotti bites.
So being Italian American, bringing in Italian wine, being in Brooklyn, we want to feed people in addition to just slinging wine at you. So we are partnering with a local Panzerotti place called Panzerotti Bites, which is just a couple of steps down from where we are going to be.
Does everybody know what a panzerotti is? I didn't. I had to look it up.
It's like almost like a little baby like calzone is kind of how you can think about it. It's a great like hangover food in Italy when you have like too much alcohol still in your body. It's like that bread and cheese just absorbs everything from like the night before and really like lets you power through your day. What I like about them is they make like normal size panzerotti, but for us, they're going to do like little mini guys, which is going to be great, like a little finger food to kind of.
We're doing an assortment, right? We definitely wanted to do like the artichoke.
Yeah, we're going to do a little assortment of flavor. We're going to do like classic, like margarita. We're going to do, they have an artichoke and then a truffle one, I think. So
yeah.
So we're going to do a couple of different bites. So we're giving away free wine, free food, awesome ladies with some rims. I mean, like, there's no reason I'm flying out there. Like, that's how, no, I mean, I have to be there. But if you are in the area, you should definitely come join us and eat and drink, and you will have an awesome time.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So on that note, we're not ending quite yet, but the packages are available that were all three. So then the titles of the packages are the 1 bottle package is
the bougie bottle,
and then the 2 bottle is Fancy Pants, and the 3 bottle is Summer Crush. And they're available on FIZZ Female and Ashley's site, but then we'll also be pouring all those wines on Sunday, and then some still wines as well, or the still wines that are in Summer Crush, right?
Yep. So we have a white wine by Thomas Niedermeyer. We have a rosé coming from Sicilia, made of Nero d'Avola, which is nice and dry and has like a nice like level of like herbaceousness, like cooking spices to it. And then we have a red wine from Piemonte from the same producer as the Viv. So we'll get to try one of their light reds as well. So
really red. Sweet. Anyone have any questions now? No?
I have a question for Ashley. Is there
go for it. You're like, I have a question for Ashley.
I feel like I'm on a dating website, yes.
Okay, go on.
Now that you put me on the spot.
I love putting you on the spot. It's like you're one of my biggest supporters, but you're like, okay, go on.
I love Italian wines, but I was just wondering if there's any interest in doing any importing from other countries, France or anything like that.
Great question, and I am so glad that you asked that. And it was like a big hot topic between my husband, who like literally is born and raised Italian, and myself, but it's my company, so like I'm the boss babe decision maker. So my producer Thomas Niedermeyer, who has the Cristal Freistel, he had a friend. So the best way of like finding new producers, because none of these producers have representation outside of me in California. So it's kind of like, because they're so small, it's like word of mouth. And I found a friend of his who also works with these unique varietals, these kiwi varietals, and he is based in Austria. And he is like even smaller than Thomas Niedermeyer. He's what we call like a garage style winemaker. It's like literally him, his dog Django, and they're like little renegades. They have like maybe 2 to 3 hectares of land. And he just kind of started like this like punk rock style winemaking. And he sent me some samples, and you know, like it was so funny because like one of the pet nats that he sent me, he had warned me ahead of time. He's like, it might be temperamental, so like open it in the sink. And it was like a freaking geyser, just like exploded. Do you know what I mean? But it was like, that's like, because you're a garage style winemaker, like you're like learning the ropes kind of deal. But like the bottle was like 2/3 empty when when all was said and done. But he does make like really rad natural wines, some orange wines that we're bringing in, and apple cider. So apples grow on his farm, and that's kind of what differentiates, I think, other places from Napa. Napa, all you see is just rows and rows of vines just because the land is so expensive. But particularly in northern Italy and Austria, lots of other crops grow in the vineyards, and they have apples, and so they pick the apples, and so we're bringing in an apple cider.
I've got a room for that, just FYI.
Awesome. Stay tuned.
I got a room for that.
The fall apple cider. Forget pumpkin spice. It's dead.
No,
apple
we don't need the
cider
pumpkin
and
spice,
paired
no.
rims are coming at you this fall. But yeah, so he's my first non-Italian producer that I'm bringing in, but he's rad and he's worth it. So I mean, like, being super small, it was nice to have like a focus. I'm definitely not giving up on Italy, but I'm totally open to finding new areas that are just, you know, need representation and are making rad wine. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
I have a question, Nicole.
Oh,
I would like for you, it's not a question, it's a ask. I would like for you to create a New York Champagne Week rim for champagne. cocktails.
With dried caviar.
Sounds good to me. I mean, we are doing a caviar du jour. Every day of the week, we're featuring one that we're like highlighting. So that could be fun. But so a little intel for you guys, because I haven't posted the calendar yet. But I would love to have a Rim Envy rim available on the Champagne Week store,
right.
lovely boutique that's specifically made for champagne cocktails.
Hell yeah. I was like waiting for you to ask me, duh. Like
I'll be the taste tester, okay, guys? It's gonna be a tough job.
oh no, I love that. No, absolutely. It's on all seriousness. I really appreciate like you supporting me. I think that's awesome. Like
So I mean, if Ashley had champagne, should be in champagne week.
Wrong country.
You
No
know,
can do.
The Blaine stamp of approval. I got invited into Champagne Week. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
holy, all right, I'm doing it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. I want a special one of these tins. It says New York Champagne Week on it, and I want it to be for champagne cocktails, like the classic champagne.
Emailing Abby later tonight, FYI.
Yeah. Get some more logos.
Well, I'm really excited for the Panzerotti bites, but I'm also excited for more of the wine and to be able to make cocktails and lick the rims with everyone that comes on Sunday. This is gonna be just like a party like this. Like everyone's gonna be like, hi, oh yeah, how are you? Like, oh, how's COVID been? It's like really.
I don't know how many phone numbers we get afterwards.
It's gonna be so much fun. But Christina, if you're around, I have a bottle open. Michelle, I have people nearby. Michelle left again. But I have a bottle open. I'll make some pet nat party cocktails. And yeah, we'll have some fun tonight. So